Before we move into the Bard, we need to do a brief overview of spellcasting, because in 5th edition, the Bard is a caster, a full caster. And we need to compare some basics here. So first of all, let us look at 5th edition, because in 5th edition, in order to simplify everything, it is all made uniform. If you're a caster, you have basically the same thing. When it comes to spell slots, you have exactly the same thing. The only difference is how many cantrips you know. And with some casters, they're limited on how many spells they know. But let us just look at this table here. And it doesn't matter. We can look at Bard, Cleric, Druid, Sorcerer, or Wizard. The table is the same. First level spell slots, you start off with 2. Second level, you get 3. Third level, you get 4. And you never get more than that. You get your second level spells at 3rd level with 2 spell slots. Fourth level, you get 3. You never get more than that. And you'll notice this pattern. At every odd level, you get another level of spells. So first level at first level, second level at third level at 5th, fourth level at 7th, 5th level at 9th, and so on down the line. You just take your level, divide it by 2, and round up, and that's the highest level of spell you can cast. That's your highest level spell slot. You will also note that your maximum down here, 4 for first level, 3 for second, third, fourth, and 5th, 2 for 6th and 7th, and only 1 8th or 9th level spell. That's the maximum you get. This is the same, again, as I said, for the Bard, Cleric, Druid, Sorcerer, and Wizard. These are the full casters. 5 classes that are full casters in 5th edition. They all have exactly the same spell slots. The only difference, as I said, comes in with the cantrips. You will note the Bard starts with 2, and his maximum is 4. This is the same for the Druid. However, the Cleric and the Wizard each start with 3 and end with 5, and the Sorcerer starts with 4 and ends with 6. You'll note the pattern there. 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6. It goes up twice. They add 2 to their list as they go up level, and they get the additional ones at the same levels. Everything is uniform. You can see this again with the partial casters of Paladin and Ranger. These guys also share the same spell slot table, starting getting first level spells at 2nd level and maxing out 5th level spells. They don't get higher than 5th level, and it is 4 first, 3, 3, 3, 1. Same for the Ranger and the Paladin. You also have the subclass casters of the Eldritch Knight and the Arcane Trickster, and they, again, share spell slot tables. They have the exact same thing. They start getting first level spell slots when they get their subclass at level 3. These guys can never cast higher than level 4, and it goes down to a 4, 3, 3, 1. Again, uniform. Full casters all use the same thing. Half casters all use the same thing. Subclass casters all use the same table. You will also note that if you're multi-classing, you no longer use separate tables for each class. In 5th edition, if you would take multiple classes that cast spells, you combine them all together and use the table for full casters. But you determine your caster level by adding together your casting classes. You get 1 level for every full caster, half a level for every half caster, and a 3rd level for every subclass caster. So if I'm a Bard, Arcane Trickster, so I'm a level 5 Bard, level 3 Arcane Trickster, well then I get 5 levels of caster for being a Bard, only 1 for the Arcane Trickster because it's only 1/3. So now I am treated as a 5th level caster for determining how many spell slots I get, which means I would have 4 first, 3 second, and 2 third. But again, even with multi-classing, we default to a single table. Let us compare this to 3rd edition. We have the same classes, but our tables are very different. So for instance, if we look, say, Cleric and Druid, you'll note they have levels 1 through 5, they get 5 spell slots. 6, 7, 8, and 9 get 4. These guys have the same thing, except that the cleric has his special of the domain magic, which we will get into when we discuss clerics, but they have the same basic thing. You will also note that they get their levels the same way in 5th edition. Every odd level, you get another level of spell that you can cast. The wizard is very much the same thing with when he can cast certain levels, but he maxes out at 4 for every level. Then you will note the sorcerer is a bit unique in that the sorcerer does not get new levels of spells at every odd level, but he defers it by 1 level. So cleric, druid, wizard, they get new spell levels at every odd level. 1st, 3rd, 5th, so on. The sorcerer gets it every even level, starting at 4th. At 1st level, he gets his 1st level spells. But he doesn't get 2nd level spells until he's level 4 instead of level 3. 3rd level spells he gets at level 6, and then 8, 10, 12, and so on. So he doesn't get 9th level spells until he is level 18 instead of at level 17. However, he gets more spells of each level than any other class. He gets maxing out at 6 for every level. And then if you look at the half-casters of the Paladin and the Ranger, they max out at 4th level spells. They don't get 5th level spells like they do in 3rd, and they do in 5th. But they get 4 of each level. They also don't start getting their spells until 4th level. So they get their spells later, but you will also, these guys do share a table. This is the same spellcasting, the spell slots table between the Ranger and the Paladin. You'll also know the Cleric and the Druid share the table as well if we ignore the Cleric's domain magic. But then we get the unique one. I mean, the Wizard and the Sorcerer are still going up to 9th level, just like the Cleric and the Druid. They all go up to 9th level. Sorcerer is a bit unique in that he gets more spells, but he gets them later on. But then we get the Bard. See, I got to change my terminology a little bit, because in 5th edition, we had the full casters, half casters, and what I call the subclass casters. And they all use different tables. In 3rd edition, we have what would be called the full caster, cleric, druid, sorcerer, and wizard. And then you have the partial casters, which are the paladin and the ranger. In between, what I call the half caster is the bard. And you'll note the bard, he starts off at 1st level able to cast spells, but only cantrips. He doesn't get his 1st level spells until he is level 2. And he maxes out at 6th level. He doesn't get higher than 6th level spells. He can eventually cast 4 at every level, but he maxes out at 6th. He's a very unique caster. There's nothing too unique about any caster in 5th edition. You have your 5 full casters, your half casters, and your subclass casters. They all use the same tables. They all get their spells at the same time. All that stuff, it's all exactly the same. In 3rd edition, we have full casters, we have partial casters, and we have the bard, that I call the half caster. But every single one, with the exception of the 2 half casters, Ranger and Paladin, every single one is unique in some way. The number of spells you get of each spell level, number of slots you get for each spell level, is different from one class to another. Every class is different. The sorcerer gets his spells a little bit later. The bard, he starts off with cantrips, but he doesn't get leveled spells until later on, and he maxes out at 6th level spells. Every class has a different table. So you can't learn when one class gets his spells and then just apply it to every other class like you can in 5th edition. Each class is unique. I like this about 3rd edition. I like that these classes all get unique spell progression. Their magic is not all just cut and dry, cookie cutter. It's not just, oh, if you're a caster, you get this. Doesn't matter what class you are, you're a caster, you get this. No. Every caster is different. Much more complicated. I will agree. 5th edition is much simpler because if I'm playing a bard, I can then play a cleric next, and I still know exactly what spells I'm going to get because they use the same table. It's very simple, very easy. More complicated, but much more interesting and much more unique. But just wanted to point this out. And I'll get into some more details on how each class is different between the 2 editions, but this is a very unique thing that everything is uniform in 5th edition, but 3rd edition, everything is different. And it makes for a much more varied and unique gameplay, in my opinion. But we will leave that here. We will talk a little bit more in depth about the mechanics of spellcasting in a later video, and the next one will be the Bard. So stay tuned, and if you are liking it, subscribe, click the thumbs up, share the videos. Have fun. See you in the next one.